Hi, it's Brenda with OrganiLock Gardens, and I would love to take you on a tour of all of our outside gardens. This is the farm stand where we have done sales in the past on the porch, so come on in and let's look around. You can see we have every type of plant right now growing. We have beans, limas, cucumbers, squashes. Take a look at some of these squashes we have going. Some lovely spaghetti squash. They're all over. And then we also have butternut that are growing nice and good and big. There's even a larger one down there, a couple more. So as you see already, we are producing, we are harvesting. We've had cucumbers, we've had zucchini and squash. Our brassicas and eggplants are growing well. Then our tomato garden. We've had a lot of rain followed by really hot weather, kind of drought. So you can see some of the leaves curling right now, but they're perfectly healthy. That's what they do to preserve their moisture. Then in the back we have our cucumbers and cabbages interplanted. This is our pepper garden. Last year we didn't do very well with our peppers for some reason, but this year they're luscious and green and already have multiple peppers on the plants. Our corn. In Kentucky, they always say they want it knee-high by July. Well, I think we've made that goal and passed it. Our pepper garden all along the front rail here is new. We got a little impatient and we put our fresh soil in, and when you first activate our soil, you can see our garden helpers. He's hunting all the critters to keep them out of the garden. We got a little anxious and we had fresh soil, and when you activate that soil it gets hot and you have to be careful about planting too soon. Well, we got excited and we planted soon, and our peppers kind of had a hard time getting started, but as you can see, they've recuperated. So if you have fresh soil, give it time to rest, give it time to cool down before you plant. Right, Adeline? And this is Adeline's favorite garden right here, because this is our pollinator garden, and it's starting to do its job finally and produce some good flowers for our bees. Yeah, Kitty's here. This is what we call our critter cage. This was the very first one we put together, but OrganiLock makes the hardware to assemble this together. You go buy your own wood, whatever kind of wire or netting that you want to put around it. But when this closes down, this keeps your plants nice and safe from squirrels, groundhogs, you name it, rabbits. As you can see here, we're Kentucky today because we're holding the door open with a hoe. We do things as it goes. All right, in here we have peppers, we have all kinds of herbs and sage here over in the corner that overwintered in the greenhouse. Then of course out here we have peppers that overwintered. This one pepper actually had over 20 peppers on it at one point. So it was just full of peppers. More squashes, strawberries that have been in here for about 3 years that we take into the greenhouse, bring back out. Sweet potatoes. We put sweet potatoes just down in the soil, and they produce the vines then that we can cut off and produce sweet potato slips. This has already been harvested off of once, and we can still do a lot more and make some more sweet potato slips. Here we have, again, pepper plants up here that were overwintered, as you can see, because they have beautiful orange peppers, quite a few of them growing. Then here we have the way we grow carrots is we scatter the seeds, a little bit of soil on top, then we wet it down, and we use this shade cloth to help to keep the moisture in and help to protect the little seedlings until they form into carrots. This is our carrot garden that's ready to be harvested. And as you can see, we like to use the little short carrots. We think they taste a lot better and they grow quickly. Wrapping up the tomato or the farm stand garden, we have more squashes. We've got garlic, okra, and potatoes. These potatoes are doing great. They've got beautiful blossoms on them, which means it's doing its thing and producing potatoes. More tomatoes. We had some snap peas, and these are about played out because peas are more a cool weather plant. So we've interplanted then some watermelon that will come up and grow up the trellis so we don't waste any time in our garden. You can see we have more plants to put out still, peppers and flowers. So we'll finish up that garden as we go along. But now let's head out and see another garden. All right, here we are in what we call our tomato garden, although most of the garden is actually other plants. We have summer squashes, winter squashes over here behind me. Here's more summer squash with some great big yellows ready to be harvested. We have some cherry tomatoes, pinto beans, green beans, and then we have tomatoes that we've started over here. Because of the weather, we've had some weird weather going on. They're struggling a little bit, but they're starting to come back. So this is our tomato garden. We also have banana trees here at OrganiLock. They're growing in our jumbo troughs in OrganiLock soil because OrganiLock soil can grow pretty much anything. You can see the little pups here that are coming out from the banana trees. These have been in for 2 to 3 years, and the pups you can dig out and transplant into a pot and grow more banana trees. So that's what we do. This garden has our vining plants, our melons and our squashes. Melons, most of these were seeded direct, so they're coming up slowly, but they're getting there. We have all types from sugar babies to large watermelons to even seedless watermelons. Seedless watermelons, you have a plant for the actual watermelon, then you have a pollinator plant that lets it to be pollinated so it produces again without seeds. Here we have some winter squash, we have some summer squash, all growing in this garden. This was a test garden originally that we put in too much carbon into the soil. We ground up or we tilled in our mulch and kind of messed up the soil, so we had to let it rest for a couple years and catch up so we could plant once again. So everybody makes mistakes, you learn from your mistakes and you move forward, and that's what we've done in these two gardens. This one over here is a popcorn field. Our grandkids especially are excited about popcorn because that's their favorite snack. We have white popcorn growing over here, and I think we're going to have enough for a lot of movies. Okay, this is what we call our overflow garden. We also here at OrganiLock make starter plants for people, and we had so many peppers and tomatoes that we decided to go ahead and plant some of those instead of letting them go to waste. We have tomatoes of all types, slicers, tomatoes that are good for making your sauces and your paste. And then we have a variety also of hot and bell peppers. So we're going to have plenty of peppers and tomatoes to share with others. All right, we're outside now with our, I think, 6th garden already. And this is our test field for sweet corn. I've told the kids that on this side is sweet corn, on the other side is cow corn, because we have a commercial plot as well. But these tests are in rows of 3, you can see, and each one of these has a different treatment, whether it be OrganiLock's rehab, or our fertilizers, or the traditional farming method. So you can see different stages of growth because they were planted at different times with different treatments. And across the way here, we have our commercial field of field corn. This is our commercial farming test field that you can tell on this left side of the field. This was the normal farming practices, and this field has been farmed for 40, 50 years, I guess, and is playing out. So they even had to see, you can see here where they even had to replant some of the seed that didn't come up. The far end toward the tree line over there was normally the lowest producing area of the field. So we treated that 3 acres with our OrganiLock rehab product, and it came up faster. It was looking a lot greener, taller, right out of the start. And then they went ahead and treated the whole field with your normal chemical fertilizer, nitrogen. So everything is catching up a little bit, but you can see that's still more lush, green, and a little bit taller, fuller in most of the sections. So we're anxious to see what the actual yield is, since it was the lowest producer before, to see if it produces better than the rest of the field. Where are you?
Oh my gosh!
Jack! We lost Jack in the cornfield. Here we have our grapevines. These grapevines we fertilize with our all-in-one fertilizer, and we've also put some rehab around on the ground as well. We've had good success, but this year is even more. We thought we'd lost them with the late frost and freeze that we had, but they're just covered with grapes. So we'll have a lot of grape juice and grape jelly. Yum! Okay, as we go around, you can see that OrganiLock, again, OrganiLock soils grow pretty much anything. And our all-in-one fertilizer is good for our pest control as well as mildew and mold. We grow in all types of containers as well, just like you would in your gardens. We've got more squashes. Here we have flowers of all types, roses. We've got annuals. We've got some zinnias coming up here. We have blueberries that we grow in our soils as well, loaded with blueberries. And this has been in this same small bucket for probably 4 years. We also have a new mix. This is our succulent mix. As we've started experimenting with succulents this year. So we've got different types of succulents mixed in, cactus, we've got aloe, we've got you name it. And we have all types that grow very well in OrganiLock soil. Flowers again, even houseplants. We have houseplants also, a mix for those. So you've got all types of houseplants, palm trees, you name it. Again, what will OrganiLock soil grow? Everything, right? Everything. Okay, our last garden. This garden has been here the longest, and we used to have it filled with our troughs, but we've reorganized and changed things. So now we have our blueberries, our blueberry patch, and we have a few of our 10-foot troughs left. And they're planted with green beans, lima beans, and potatoes. We love growing potatoes and sweet potatoes in OrganiLock troughs. They're so easy to harvest and they grow very, very well. So you see here, we've got potatoes, 3 different varieties going on here in like 6 different troughs. They're blossoming, some of them are blossoming already, but they're nice and full and healthy. So that's the end of our OrganiLock Outdoor Gardens tour. And until next time, happy gardening.